So this anime season is coming to a close, and I just got finished watching what I'd say is probably one of the most interesting anime this year, The Summer Hikaru Died. Now, spoiler warning, Hikaru does indeed die. And honestly, I'm very glad he did, because it allowed for this great story to happen. Because when Hikaru dies, we get this monster who is basically the exact same as Hikaru to take his place. And this leads to a lot of moral dilemmas, like if this thing is basically an exact replica of Hikaru, is it the same as if the real Hikaru was here? It's basically like the ship of Theseus, which you might remember from WandaVision. There's this real dilemma of, do we kill the fake Hikaru or not? And the answer is... I really like how Yoshi's character explores loss, how to cope with it, and selfishness. He keeps Hikaru around at first as some sort of escapism, to avoid thinking about the fact that Hikaru is actually dead. On the other hand though, he clearly sees this new Hikaru as someone distinctly different from the real Hikaru. But despite this, he has grown attached to the new Hikaru himself, and doesn't want to let him go, even if it's selfish. And on the other hand, it was nice to see Hikaru getting some real character development. He becomes more and more like a human and understanding of human emotion and nature, whereas Yoshiki becomes more and more accepting of the unnatural and basks in this unhealthy relationship. This reversal of character progression is honestly the coolest thing this show explores for me. I will say though that the show can be a bit repetitive at times, like a lot of the earlier episodes will introduce a moral dilemma at the beginning of the episode, then it will basically be resolved by the end of it, only for the next episode to start and we have to deal with what feels like almost the same dilemma. Once we get like halfway through the show, it almost feels like we're basically at the exact point we were when we started. Which is not to say that the story moves too slow, that's totally fine. I guess I just wish it had some more variety or tension to it. Like for example, there are so many times where it seems like Hikaru might lose control, but then he just gains control again and everything is fine. I think they should have pushed this a bit further, like instead of Asako just losing hearing in her ear, maybe she ended up in the hospital. Or with this lady right here, it would have been a lot more tense if Hikaru actually tried to kill her once but got stopped by Yoshiki. Because I've seen a few people say that the horror elements of the show were a bit tame, and honestly I think they were all super well done and they really nailed the tone, but in a sense I can agree, because so many times when they would deal with these impurities or Hikaru himself, I'd find myself at the end being like, man, I'm sure glad that worked out fine and that we're all okay. Like maybe sometimes it could have not worked out. Again, make it a bit more intense. Or maybe some of the side characters could have had a bigger role to play. I really like these three characters because I think they got characterized fairly well, but these two's romance, for example, never really goes anywhere or matters for anything. It just kind of ends right after it starts. And Asako really doesn't get to do all that much. It's honestly not a huge issue though, and I don't particularly mind it because I did really enjoy exploring the characters as much as we did. Also, I have to sing the praises of this show's visuals. Man, do they fucking slap. I love the teal and green colors, and the art quality in general is just so consistently good. It's directed so well. The way the cinematography and visual style is combined with this really realistic and crisp sound design with a mostly minimal soundtrack really does make the story feel like it takes place in the middle of bumfuck nowhere and makes it so immersive, because the setting is actually very relevant for the story. It does add to the creepy vibe the show is going for. Everything is just way more spooky out in the woods. Like this couldn't have taken place in Tokyo. But I really think it's fitting because they're so secluded and away from the cities. There's nowhere to escape to, and so the only thing Yoshiki really knows is this town and Hikaru. The episodes are also directed in a way that conveys the subtext perfectly. Lots of scenes will have Hikaru and Yoshiki talking about random shit that doesn't really matter, but in reality, Hikaru is the one that starts the conversations and Yoshiki ends up playing along because that's less painful than confronting the truth. And so all of these conversations between them when they're talking about ice cream or soda or whatever are really just incredibly sad. I particularly like the line where the fake Hikaru says that his favorite food is ice cream, even though the real Hikaru's favorite food was watermelon. Yoshiki gets so upset at this because he no longer wants to be reminded that this Hikaru is fake and that the real one used to be with him. This show is mostly comprised of scenes between our characters just talking to each other about stuff like this, and I know some people might find that boring or whatever, but I really like it. The fact that it managed to keep my attention for all 12 episodes shows how well written the dialogue was. So many words are said in in between the lines in these moments, especially in episode 12, which also looks particularly great. It truly is a work of art in every way. My hat goes off to the director, man. Holy shit, this dude was cooking, bro. Look at these shots, man. God damn! God damn! There's this one scene where the music builds up for a really long time and eventually it just... It's so nice to see an anime have such a clear visual style and direction instead of just looking like every other anime. So much care has been put into it, like the mangaka must be fucking stoked to see an adaptation of this quality based on his work. This episode also has like some live action shots. Like at first I thought it was just some 3D shots that they hadn't done anything with, but then I was like, hold up, that shit is real.
That motherfucker back there is real.
Like the animators were just like, fuck this shit, man. I'ma just pick up the camera and film some bullshit instead. I don't know if I like it or not, but I will say that I don't think I've ever seen this done before in anime, and it was kind of impressive how seamlessly it was integrated, at least more seamlessly than you might expect. Another highlight I think is the antagonist. I really enjoyed how unhinged this guy was. The story is always trying its best to keep you on edge, and this dude definitely added to that vibe, because you really never know what the fuck he's gonna do next. The moment where he chops off Hikaru's head was great because Yoshiki had so desperately been trying to preserve what he lost, only for our antagonist to destroy it. It was always interesting to learn more about him and what his goals were, and I hope season 2 comes soon to answer some more questions. There's honestly not a lot of criticisms I have. I know some people have been debating the fact that the main characters are gay and whether or not it matters.
Nigga, I don't give a fuck. Go get some bitches. Who wants to keep having this conversation?
So I'm gonna give The Summer Hikaru Died a 9 out of 10. For now.
What?
This score could be changed to an 8 later because this story is a slow burn. And there's nothing wrong with a slow burn. In fact, they're awesome. Some of the best movies and shows I've ever seen are slow burns, like The Batman or Andor. But the thing about slow burns is that they're very reliant on the climax. For example, in Vinland Saga Season 2, I really enjoyed the first half of the season. Those episodes are amazing, but there's also a lot of setup in those episodes. Setups for the second half of the season. And ultimately, all the setup pays off well, but if it didn't, if the finale was just trash, I'd be looking back at the first half of the season a lot more negatively. Basically, if the flame burns for ages but never actually grows into a huge fire, it's gonna be whack. And the thing about The Summer Hikaru Dies is that this whole season has very much so felt like a lot of setup. Like a fire slowly burning, and right before it looks like it's about to explode, the season ends. So I would need season 2 to ramp up just a little bit. Not that I need like crazy action scenes or anything, but I need the plot to be a bit more faster paced and deliver on what it's set up in these episodes. I mean, Hikaru and Yoshiki basically can't be together anymore without Yoshiki being consumed by Hikaru, so something needs to happen. But still, I really recommend this one, go check it out. And also check out this video for more anime recommendations.